rain's coming down on a windy day. Sky full of clouds all shifting in gray. But we're here inside, we're dozing away. For the moment we're safe with no reason to change, yeah. I've learned a few things in my traveling around. Don't search for trouble, for it will be found. And don't run for cover on a bright sunny day. And always be thankful as the good times fade. Get carried away, have a good time. Nighttime is coming, but the day is so fine. Get carried away by possibilities. Look for the best in all that you see and have a good time. Good time, let's have a good time. Good time. There's a song in my head that rings in my ear. I woke up this morning feeling like a brand new year. Let's you and me dream of a bright sunny day. And always be thankful as the good times fade. Get carried away, have a good time. Nighttime is coming, but the day is so fine. Get carried away by possibilities. Look for the best in all that you see and have a good time. A good time, we'll have a good time. Good time, let's have a good time. Good time. Bo-do-do-do-do. Thanks very much. Thank you. We brought 4 of our CDs. I told you earlier we had just released our 28th CD. We brought the 28th album. In the beginning, they were large flat discs, bigger than that. And some of you remember, right?
Frisbees at the time.
Yeah. We have 4 of them with us, and we try to do something tonight from each one of those albums, so that you'll have truth in lending, which is important these days. This is a song called "Where the Rippling Waters Flow."
I have always been a traveler, ever on the move. I always seek endeavor with excitement may it prove. But here is peace, here is balm for my weary soul, here is forgiveness found, where the rippling waters flow, where the rippling waters flow. I can rest my weary head, I feel comfort and I'm sure. To this place I have been led, where the rippling waters flow. conscience bars my soul, but you are here. You lift up my wandering soul. In you I find redemption. Let the rippling waters flow, where the rippling waters flow. I can rest my weary head. I feel comfort and I'm sure to this place I have been led, where the rippling waters flow. There is contentment in my soul. Here is peace, where the rippling waters flow. In a world of sorrow, with death at every door, you offer me comfort, and my cup runneth o'er. Now I long for green pastures, where your waters soothe my soul. I will want no more, but to your soothing waters flow. Where the rippling waters flow, I can rest my weary head. I feel comfort and I'm sure to this place I have been led, where the rippling waters flow. There is contentment in my soul. Here is peace, where the rippling waters flow. Here is peace, where the rippling waters flow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the woo-woos over there. I appreciate that.
This is one of those songs that Jan came up with at the last moment. Last song to be cut for the album. And then we said, okay, we'll cut that one, we'll put it on the album. And then we were walking out the door and she came up with the other one, God Never Sleeps. So she's done this actually twice on one album. This is a response to the Scott McKenzie song, if you go to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair.
And be sure to take your VW bus and go see the ocean while you're out there. Right?
Take your microbus. And
They're making fun of me because we got back, and it was just, we were 19. My best friend and I jumped in my cherry red Volkswagen and went out to San Francisco and got back. And I mean, we were just, famous in the student union, of course. And one of the friends said, "Isn't that ocean beautiful?" And I went, "Oh man, I knew we forgot to do something."
now you're in the mood for this song.
Across the painted desert, where the sand meets the sea. Deep inside a memory lives the girl I used to be. She's got flowers in her hair, freedom on her mind, and a hint of melancholy for what she left behind. She believed what they all told her. It was whispered soft and low that beauty was beyond her, like a pretty pot of gold. So she traveled toward the light, through time and wind and night, like a comet in the air, like a wild unbroken mare. Can't tell you what she found there, or why she had to leave, but what she left behind there, she never did retrieve. Francisco, you may see her floating by on the misty, smoky water when the moon is full and high. She's got flowers in her hair, freedom on her mind. She's a melancholy angel. She's the girl I left behind. She's got flowers in her hair, freedom on her mind. She's a melancholy angel. She's the girl I left behind.
Thank you. This is a song right out of Central Louisiana. It's off our new album, Stick, Brick, and Mortar, and it's about sugarcane. In Louisiana, you have to write about sugarcane because you see it all the time. This is being used currently by the American Sugarcane Growers League as promotion for some of their not only their products, but the people that grow. They're very big on promoting their people. And I think this man is 88 years old that they do a little documentary on, and there's our music in the background. So it's kind of nice to have something new that meets something old, and it works real well. This is called Sweet Sugar Cane. Sugarcane, sweet sugarcane, sweetness of our southern dreams. Sugarcane, sweet sugarcane, fireflies in the jasmine-scented breeze. There's a little shade beneath this tree. shields me from relentless heat, an afternoon shower possibly. But then the temperatures increase, the men are working in the fields, and trucks are loaded with that amazing tree. Yeah, sugar cane, sweet sugar cane, the sweetness of our southern dreams. Sugar cane, sweet sugar cane, fireflies in the jasmine-scented breeze. In autumn you'd expect a change of colors cooler, but here remains the feeling of our slowest summer days. The last mimosa blossoms linger, dragonflies skim above the river, but in the fertile fields they'll harvest sugar cane. Sugar cane, sweet sugar cane, the sweetness of our southern dreams. Sugar cane, sweet sugar cane, fireflies in the jasmine-scented breeze. Hey! Down on the grassy banks, we sip our lemonade. Summer passes for the rest of the world, but here we still seek the shade. Barefoot in the cooling creek, minnows darting around our feet, but now it's time to put attention to the field. Sugar cane, sweet sugar cane, the sweetness of our southern dreams. Sugar cane, sweet sugar cane, fireflies in the jasmine-scented breeze. Sugar cane, sweet sugar cane, sugar cane, sweet sugar cane. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Smithfield Fair. All right. Cheryl, still having a good time? All right. We're running a little long on the program, but does anybody mind? Is that okay? Is that okay with you? Okay. Not that that's ever happened before. It never happens with me. This is Radio Live, coming to you live from the Museum of Commerce in the historic Pensacola Village and broadcast on WUWF 88.1 FM. We are listener-supported radio from the University of West Florida. All right. Once again, we have our good friend, Mr. Grant Peeples, and Mr. Eric Alabar. All right.
I had a premature expectation there. This is a song I recently have begun dedicating to Edward Snowden. I'm no church-going, deal-closing, bulldozing, real estate yo-yo. Ain't no look at me, SOB gassing, a Humvee to work. I'm no right-winging, golf-swinging, scotch-drinking dick around your town. That's the men I see now, and things have started to get really ugly. My disillusion and utter revulsion, well, it's fueled by recurrent notions of peril and regret. I got a knife between my teeth and a gun below my seat, and now I'm picking up speed as I see what we need to do next. You see, I'm not afraid of losing my religion. I'm carrying on this American tradition. Got a hand on the plow and a dog in this fight. If there's sweat on my brow, I keep an eye on the prize. Wanna stop the machine, stop it dead in its tracks, and call it a Patriot Act. I'm no flag-waving, queer-hating, tax-breaking Ronald Reagan cowboy. Ain't no rich-living, bitch-loving son of Republican sex. But in bars here in old Pensacola, well, that's all I see now, boy. It's time to re-roll my bedroll. I know what I need to do next. My aversion to this greedy ambition has led to the fateful decision to cross over the line. I want to shake out some gas and pitch in a match. I'm leaving black smoke and ash on the highway behind. You see, I'm not afraid of losing my religion. I'm carrying on your American tradition. Got a hand on the plow and a dog in this fight. And there's sweat on my brow. I keep an eye on the prize. Wanna stop the machine, stop it dead in its tracks, and call it a Patriot Act. 'Cause that is how a patriot should act.
Thank you. Can we just have another hand for Grant?
Yeah.
I appreciate, he says a lot of good, he also says stuff that I would be super embarrassed to sing if my mother was around, but, he's strong in his convictions, and that.
Thank you, Sarah. Every artist has a muse, and sometimes it's an inspirational thing. It comes in the form, sometimes in the form of the divine, and sometimes in the form of the spiritual, or for some people it's geographical. For many it's personal. Salvador Dali and Gala would be an example of that. I have a muse. My muse is massive quantities of caffeine. But I also have what every artist has, and very few of them I have found want to admit to it. I have an anti-muse, and this is personal. I have invented her. I've assigned her. I've made her anthropomorphic. Is that the right word? I think.
Absolutely.
I've given her an identity, and she sits on my shoulder when things are not going well and tells me I'm wasting my time and that this is not going to amount to anything. And she says, like, what are you doing riding all over this country, burning up all that gas? Nobody cares what you got to say. And she and I had a little hard time a year ago, and if we kind of duked it out, and I wrote this song, and it gave me an opportunity for her to tell me what she thought about me, and for me to tell her what I thought about me too. And I had to find a chick singer who could pull it off.
So I'm the mean guy.
Chained to the throttle of a runaway train. All your life you looked upon creation, trying to find a window where you could escape. You call it art, but you're just jerking off. All you want to do is find a name for yourself. You're sucking up to owners and promoters, but it won't be good if it's something you sell.
Well, I got my songs, a sense of intervention. It's a raunchy business, but I know the score. And I can't take it just as good as I can give it. I love to mix up trouble with metaphor. It's true, every song is just a compromise, but every now and then I find a word will ring true. I hang my hat on a hook, I know I'll get 'em. I scribble down some crap and then I call it a tune.
Oh, you're a slave to your imagination, chained to the throttle of a runaway train. All your life you looked upon creation, trying to find a window where you could escape.
I got no idea why I'm wired this way. I'm too damn old to be burning like this. I guess I like the taste of a sticky situation. I never learned to love without making a mess. For 20 years I've been working on surrender. Never came to believe God was yanking on the strings. There ain't no cure for hot and cold. I lean into the future when I feel the squeeze.
You're a slave to your imagination, chained to the throttle of a runaway train. All your life you looked upon creation, trying to find a window where you could escape.
And everybody wants to water their own little flower and build the altar where they worship their sins. I fly my flag above a prison house of language. The only way I sail is when I'm close to the wind. Psychology, mythology, or crooked ways of looking through a smoky glass. An abstract theory is just a futile search for meaning. You never know the truth until it kicks your
Ask me and I'll tell you that you're a slave to your imagination, chained to the throttle of a runaway train. All your life you looked upon creation, trying to find a window where you could escape. Oh, you're a slave to your imagination, chained to the throttle of a runaway train. All your life you looked upon creation, you're trying to find a window where you could escape.
And when will I learn that I'll never escape?
So Grant approached me not too long ago, and so he often plays by himself, but he also has the People's Republic Band. You get it, like Grant Peoples, People's Republic, and he's all revolutionary. So So I've had the pleasure of going on the road sometimes with Eric and Grant, and actually I did take my mom with me one time, and she refused to ever go again. But it's just so much fun, and Grant has a bunch of songs that he turned into duets so that I could have kind of more of an upfront place when I was on the road with him. And so this year we decided, let's make a go of it. Let's do an album of duets. So that song was on there. And it released on Tuesday, so it is now officially out, and I guess this can be our Pensacola CD release party.
This is the first official CD release
Yeah,
party.
that's awesome. So we've got it back there at the merch table if you're interested. And Grant is not good at pitching his own merch, so I will also tell you that when he had his time with his anti-muse last year, he stopped writing songs and started writing poetry, and then he published his poetry into Grant's Little Red Book.
READ.
Which also is for sale on the merch table, along with all of his other CDs. It's also got a CD inside of him reading his poetry to you, so you get all the nuances that come with with his stuff. But yeah, be sure to check that out there, because he's got a lot of stuff, and he's really not good at telling you, I have stuff for you to take home so you can remember me by and give to all your friends and get them on Team Grant Peeples.
Thank you. This is a song that Eric and I we've made a number of trips to Texas, and I love playing in Texas. There are not many places there that still let us play, but we still go out there. And I always enjoy playing this song in Texas because you can go like Texans. Texans are proud, and that makes them really vulnerable. And so I always like doing this song. I always go like, I'm from Florida, and Florida's number 2 behind the state of Texas. And then, yeah, that's a Texan. That is exactly what happens. And then I go number 2 behind Texas in state executions. I heard about the hanging this morning, and I rode on into town. And there were gallows nailed up on the square, and a big crowd had gathered all around, selling postcards and cotton candy, suitcases and American flags. I seen a woman, she wept at the gallows steps. She held a little bird in her hand, and she said,
I'm not crying for him. I didn't even know his name. But what he's done, it's a sin against God, to be reckoned come judgment day. I'm crying for what we've become, still turning that flesh to dust. And I'm not crying over him, I'm crying about us.
The prisoner climbed the gallows steps, and you could feel all the excitement in the crowd as that noose got lowered down over his head. In his face it was covered with a shroud, and then that woman held her little bird to her breast as the order rang loud and clear. And then I heard a crack as they snapped his neck, and the crowd, it let out a cheer. And she said,
I'm not crying for him. I didn't even know his name. But what he's done, it's a sin against God, to be reckoned come judgment day. I'm crying for what we've you've become, still turning that flesh to dust. And I'm not crying over him, I'm crying about us.
Well, they cut him down and they hauled him off. And the people, they all gone home. And the wind blew trash to the empty street where that woman, she stood all alone. And then she knelt down on the gallows steps and she bowed her head to pray. And then she raised her hands above her head, let that little bird fly away. And she said, I'm not crying for him, I didn't even know his name. And what he'd done was a sin against God, to be reckoned come judgment day. And I'm crying for what we become, still turning our flesh to dust. Oh, and I'm not crying over him, I'm crying about us. Oh, and I'm not crying over him,
I'm crying about
Mr. Grant Peeples.
Sarah Mack, Eric Alvar.
All right, Mr. Grant Peeples and Eric Alivar. Great job. Now, don't forget, we've got one more set from Sarah Mack Band, and then we're going to have the big finale number where who knows what happens.
We don't even know what's going to happen yet.
Yeah, that's usually the way it is. Usually the way it is.
Yeah, we're still working on that.
This is Radio Live, coming to you live from the Museum of Commerce this evening, located in the Pensacola Historic Village, and broadcast on WUWF 88.1 FM. We are listener-supported radio from the University of West Florida. All right. Moving right along, we are still having some kind of fun. It's so great to be back tonight, and thank all of you for coming tonight. What a great audience. And of course, Sarah and the band had never been on Radio Live before, so they had to take my word for it. I told them, I said, you will want to take this audience home with you tonight, believe me, because virtually every artist we've ever had on the show says that to me when it's over. So that's a tribute to all of you who come out and pay so much attention to what these artists are doing, love their music, and buy their music, because this is how they make a living, folks. And if they just had to play Radio Live, they would all be starving. So you got to buy those CDs. Sarah Mack Band.
Thank you.
You know, you guys are a great audience. We love this. We've come to, this is the second time we've been in Pensacola, and this is a great music town for us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is really. We were talking about that in the van on the way here.
So, thank you very much.
walking away from everything that I've ever known. There's a secret part of my heart that's still hanging on to a girl on an airplane southbound from Mexico, where the manna and the honey and tequila flow, lonely and painfully aware of my white face and clumsy tongue. I was too young to consider such a thing as a healthy dose of caution and fear. I was set on an adventure and how my life would never change by the things bound to happen there. It's funny how we don't know then the weight of what we're choosing at the crossroads. Funny how we don't know then the weight of what we're choosing at the crossroads. Raw sewage pumped straight into the water. Still friends of our friends drove down from California, camped in our yard and got up the next morning to go surf the bar. I had never ever heard of a Starbucks, still I was treated by a stranger to an Ensenada knockoff over mochas. He asked me to move to Malaysia and save souls for Jesus. And my daddy was so mad as I cried and I pled on the phone. You're too smart to drop out of college, pack your things and get the next flight home to the East Coast. It's funny how we don't know then the weight of what we're choosing at the crossroad. Funny how we don't know then the weight of what we're choosing at the crossroad. Spent so much time thinking about how it might have been, how my life could have turned out. It's long gone, part of history now, no turning back, and no regrets, and no room for doubt, no holding debt, 'cause from here on out, I'm gonna just forge ahead, yeah. Choosing at the crossroad. In the dark, all alone, I tripped on a dead seal, washed up on the shore. The smell was on my hands when I handed in my visa at the border the next morning. Left behind, something died, washed to Asia by the pull of the Pacific that night. But it made room for something new, and it brought me to you. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, 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 oh. It's funny how we don't know then the weight of what we're choosing at the crossroad. Funny how we don't know then the weight of what we're choosing at the crossroad.
Thank you, thank you. Claire, are you going to talk for a second?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
We also put out a live CD about maybe a year and a half ago. So like Sarah said earlier, we tend to play a lot of bluesy stuff. And some of the bluesy stuff we play are not our songs, they're cover songs. And a lot of times people come up to us and want to know what album that's on. We didn't write those, they're covers, so we decided, oh, why not? Let's do a live covers album and put all of those bluesy songs that we kind of do all on one live covers album. So we have that, and this next song is called Volcano. And this is on that album.
Don't build your world around volcanoes that melt you down. What I am to you is not real. What I am to you is not what you need. What I am to you is not what you mean to me. Give me miles and miles of mountain that I ask for the sea.
Don't throw yourself like that
In front of me,
I kissed your mouth, your back.
is that all you need?
Don't throw your love around.
Volcanoes melt you down. What I am to you is not real.
What I am to you is not what you need. What I am to you is not what you mean to me.
Give me miles and miles of mountain, but I ask for what I give to you, or what I'm going through. Oh no, well it's nothing new. Another phase of finding out what I really need. It's what makes me bleed. It's like a new disease. Oh Lord, she's still too young to treat. Oh, hey, yeah, little man too down. Volcanoes melt you down. Volcanoes melt you. They're gonna melt you down.
Volcanoes melt.
Gonna melt you down.
Volcanoes
Volcanoes melt you down. Well, the reaper got a day job running numbers for the mob. competition for hearts on empty, crushing souls before the final song, and it's so easy. It's so easy to kill man before he's done. Oh, the undertaker is going crazy as he looks around the moor. To bury the living dead isn't what he bargained for. The preacher's giving last rites with a sentimental flair. Well, the bodies are still breathing, but he doesn't really care. It's so easy, well, it's so easy to kill a man before he's done. Oh, compassion, it takes a backseat in a world out of control. Keeping up with the Joneses while it empties out the soul. People are jumping fences just to find a better way. Death it is on one side, the other green turns into gray. It's so easy to kill a man before he's done. And it seems we're on the edge of a bold new age to come. Hearts are beating faster, you hear them pounding like a drum. We stare into the chasm as the fog begins to clear. Our crest begins to fall. The age was already here. Hey, so we fight for all the right things, 'cause it's a noble thing to do. But it doesn't make a difference if it really isn't true. So the Reaper quit his day job, not because things had improved. He just never found real meaning in all the things they had him do. It's so easy, it's so easy to kill a man before he's done. It's so easy to kill a man. Before he's done, yeah. Before he's done, before he's done. Thank you guys. This is Claire Swindell on bass, Charlie Van Tour on guitar. I'm Sarah, and we are the Sarah Mac Band. Thank you so much for having us and coming out to see us and welcoming us with such warm hearts.
All right, the Sarah Mac Band. Okay, now we got the big finale coming up while everybody is gathering here on stage for the big final number. I need to remind you that Radio Live is a production of WUWF Public Media at the University of West Florida. Our technical director and broadcast mix master is Mr. Dale Regal. Our house sound, Mr. Tom Skinner. Great sound in here tonight, Tom. Way to go, man. Tom is assisted by Jeff Jordan and Randy Bobbitt. Our video director tonight is Rodney Witherspoon, and our videographers are Jonathan Heidi, Lynn Marshall, and Teresa Clark. Our house managers are Trish Allison and Lindsay Myers. And our stage manager is everyone's favorite Jewish mother. So glad to have her family back now, Enid Siskin. This is Pat Crawford reminding you to keep your mind on your driving, your heart on the coast, and your ears on public radio. Good night, everybody.
Take it, Sarah.